Hello.
안녕하세요, 이범준입니다.
Hello, it's 이범준 here.
안녕하세요, 주민석입니다.
Hello, it's 주민석 here. 안녕하세요, 주윤경입니다. Hello, it's 윤경 here. Before we talk about the April update, we'd like to talk about the most discussed live issue at this point. After the Ines balance, our Steam review dropped to mostly negative. Many people have bonded with Ines during the gameplay.
Imagine. Every Descendant got buffed so hard, but don't touch Ines. Don't you dare touch Ines and remove the wall hack.
And many users also expressed disappointment and displeasure about the adjustment. About the reaction after the adjustment, we do feel the weight of the reaction. Many bonded with Ines during the gameplay, and for making them feel disappointed about the adjustment, we'd like to apologize first. The adjustment wasn't to degrade a certain Descendant. It was our choice to secure sustainability of the overall battle structure. Ines was excessively influential in many different battle circumstances. She not just increased the performance gap between the Descendants, she was also an obstacle to designing the difficulty of different contents. As a result, other Descendants became less important and dull in the game. The dev team also struggled to plan and add harder contents to the game. Nonetheless, we'd like to apologize again for making the players feel disappointed about changing the characters they like.
Yeah, but this still only comes down to Ines. I mean, the rest of the Descendants got a really hard and really good buff. And those huge buffs were really nice.
And we'd like to improve our process to provide content that is more stable and balanced from this releasing stage. And if adjustment is inevitable in the future, we would like to clearly announce the reason and direction for that change. And we'll take a discrete approach accompanied with explanations specific enough to make our players understand the change. We'll continue on to different adjustment issues about the other Descendants. With the week 4 patch, with the Descendant rebalancing, as well as some of the measures that we are about to take for Serena. For some Descendants in the game, it's really hard to make them very useful just by adjusting their stats. In order for us to meaningfully improve their performance, it's important for us to actually fix the skill mechanism itself. However, for this patch, we did simultaneously adjust various Descendants. So we had to take a stat-balanced approach. In that process, we couldn't achieve a full structural improvement, so we hope that you understand. We fully recognize the fact that this type of approach may be disappointing to some players out there, but we do like to say that we will continue to improve the skill structures or the design itself. And for Descendants that this patch is not enough, we will take extra measures against them. As for Serena, it is true that she is showing an outlier performance, but she is a fairly new Descendant. So instead of adjusting her immediately, we decided to have a look at her data further.
Nice. Okay. Did she just confirm that there won't be a Serena nerf? Oh, thank you.
In order to stabilize the content difficulty in long term, we do feel that she needs to be adjusted. However, after looking at the reaction of the Ines patch, we are thinking that we should communicate with the players well about the direction as well as the specific ways to do that. We'll take our time to come up with a good plan to communicate with you in advance. Now, the new Descendants are pretty much OP overall. What do you think about that? Recently, a few new Descendant releases has led to consecutive OP situations. As a result, some of the contents are being cleared more easily than it was intended to be. We expected the new Descendants would be noticed by the players, but we do think that it's undesirable if the content crumbles because of the new Descendants. About the background and the cause of this repeating issue, we are internally checking what is really causing this. And by improving the development process, we'll try our best to provide more stable and balanced content in the game. Now, we'd like to talk about the improved Erosion Purge video we released a few days ago. Now, Director, you played the game in the video, but I heard you struggled a little bit. Yes, I'm embarrassed to admit, but it is true. I had to film in a rush after getting the test build, so my playtime isn't excellent for level 30. The players have watched the videos and left a few concerns about the level of improvements we have done. However, I did feel first-handedly that her skills are now meaningfully useful in level 30. So I received the users' feedbacks, I've used the different sets, I repeatedly played the levels, so I did another test and I was able to clear it at about 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And now this video we uploaded today as well. So I've set Absolute Zero as my mod and used the skill mostly. As for a weapon, I've only used the last dagger in the video. I could have used Malevolent to clear it even faster. However, the purpose of the video was to receive a feedback about whether the skills are meaningfully dealing the damages. But in reality, a lot of times the test records are not as good as the user records. The players' records are much better usually, right? It's almost always the case. After the official update, usually the players' records are twice as fast with even better sets compared to the test builds. As for the Ultimate vs top players, with the weapon-oriented approach, they clear the level in about 3 to 4 minutes. After this improvement, if they also use the skills as well, we believe that they'll be able to clear the dungeon even faster. Also for your information, the Void Erosion Purge is linked to the weapon core growth. With the good combination of weapons and skills, that would be a good way for you to clear the dungeon. With the improvement from the old weapon meta battles into higher levels, now you can use the weapons and skills together to clear the dungeon. And some actually compare with Serena, so when compared with Serena, the very, very top players cleared the dungeon in about 1 minute with Serena, so which is way above our expectation.
I don't know how people are doing that. I tried it, but maybe it's because I'm playing with controller and don't have so much aim for the weak points, but holy shit, you are clearing within a minute. It's possible when you use Serena and the last dagger and always go for the weak point. But that is something for people with really good aim. So, not me.
But with this improvement, instead of setting that 1 minute bar for skill dealers like Serena, we focus on increasing the efficiency and meaningful deployment of skill Descendants. The reason why I revealed the video before the official update was to receive the player feedback and adjust the game to a better direction before the update. After the additional video is updated, please leave us a comment on YouTube. We'll have a look at it for the final balance adjustment. We expect a lot of feedback from you guys, and we'll move on to the next topic. Now, in April, we were planning to provide the external component core update. However, unfortunately, this update has been postponed.
Oh no! But, I mean, what about the reactor option changes? And that's the same system almost. You increase the stats, paying a lot of resources. Holy shit. Okay, why?
The external component core update was we were developing as a system that can additionally enhance the Descendants' defense stats. However, as of the current content, this system didn't necessarily look imperative, and in a way, the excessive growth could have hurt the balance. Another thing is that we're developing the Season 3 update, and in order to increase the quality of the upcoming update, we thought it's important for us to regroup for balancing the game. And for that reason, because the external component core update will cause the additional stat increase, we thought that it's important for us to build a solid foundation instead. We understand this was revealed in our roadmap, and we'd like to apologize for the change of plan. we feel bad about changing the plan. However, we would like to say that it was our decision based on considering the current players' gameplays as well as the necessities about the contents we have in the game. And at this point, we think that the external component core update is a supply without demand. However, the Arc tuning socket update, which is planned to be updated in May, will be done as scheduled in week 11. This update has a very clear goal of allowing the diversification of builds in the game. So this will be provided as planned. So let's dive into the April update. Okay, we have a table of contents on the screen. Later today in the dev live, we have a function demo, that feature demo that many of you have been waiting. So please stay with us until the end. It would be nice to start with Blair, so let's watch the ultimate Blair shreds.
어떠셨어요?
How did you think? What do you think? I think Blair's the most handsome character in the game, so I'm really looking forward to the update today. Yeah, this is the April update. So it's been 12 years since I quit smoking. So shirts remind me of a lot of memories.
지터님도 블레어처럼 수염 한번 길러보세요. 저요?
Why don't you grow beard like Blair?
아내가 싫어하고요.
Wife hates it.
흰수염이 나요 이제.
And I also have gray beard now.
뭐
Before we look at Ultimate Blair in details, we'd like to talk about the story of Blair. The story seems a little different from the other Descendant story. So this is our first time telling the story of a Descendant gaining the ultimate power. And for that reason, it has dramatic moments and turning points, but the very special highlight of the story would be seeing Blair keeping it lighthearted in Crisis. And the ambiance of the story is quite different from the other Descendant story as well. Now, the other stories were usually quite serious and dark. However, with Blair, there are many funny scenes that will make you chuckle. And you also see Blair's signature romantic gestures in the story. Some of the scenes may look a little out of place, but however, we did try to blend them well with the sense of seriousness in the plot. So we hope that you'll enjoy the story with a fresh take. Many players have told us that Descendant stories are actually better than the main story. We can tell you that this story is also very interesting, so please stay tuned. All right, let's dive into the Ultimate Blair introduction.
네, 먼저 실험실로 이동해서 새로운 스킬들을 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
Let's move the lab and we'll show you his new skills. With the new skill mods we're adding with the update, the Blair's overall mechanism will significantly change. We have a skill mod called Killer Recipe, which will change his passive as well as skill 1, 2, and 4. His passive skill, a Feast of Flavor, buffs the skill power, critical rate, as well as the multiplier when attacking burning enemy. His skill 1 is called Spicy Meatball, that shoots meatball towards the enemy, and it's a pretty comical name. We had a good laugh while developing the skill.
네, 스킬을 한번 써볼게요.
Now we'll try out the skill.
Yeah, feel the pain of clicking this thing 100 times to go to level 260. There you are. Feel it. Fix it. Please.
네, 1번 스킬은
Okay, this is skill 1.
이런 식으로.
And this is how it looks in the game.
네, 사용성이 꽤 좋아졌습니다.
It's a lot useful
네, 콤팩트하게 딜을 넣고 연계하기가 좋아졌어요.
and easier to link the attacks after doing damage. The skill 2 temperature check, when you have the Chef's Touch effect, this will immediately recover MP.
Dude, what? You can have 10 stacks of Chef's Touch and get 50% MP? And Blair has dimension skills, so this together with multi-talented and endless cooldown, that's even less than 8 seconds. You will have endless MP. Holy.
Skill 4, Deadly Feast, shoots a fireball to the targeted enemy. This deals a very accurate damage, and this is designed to be a finishing blow of your dealing routine.
네, 한번 사용을 해보겠습니다.
We'll try out the skill.
이렇게 네, 타겟을 정하고요.
You can pick the target first
네, 이런 식으로 사용을 하게 됩니다.
and shoot the fireball.
타겟을 정하고
You pick the target.
네, 이렇게 사용할 수 있습니다.
With the killer recipe mod set, we think that you'll definitely feel first-handedly that Blair's skills are much useful in battles. And the second skill mod is also quite experimental. The next level recipe suggests a very interesting direction when it comes to your build. Skill 1, Merciless Dish, will lay Flamezones as you move. So this would create a good synergy with the weapons with the movement increase.
네, 이런 식으로 이동하면서 불판을 깔게 됩니다.
So as you move, you can see the flame zone being laid on the ground.
네,
His skill 3 has also been changed. The name has changed to Hot Delivery. From the straight flame, we've changed it to a fan-shaped flame.
네, 이렇게 장판을 깔고
With the flame zone on the ground, you shoot the skill 3.
이런 식으로 사용할 수 있는 스킬입니다.
So that's how it looks in the game.
Dude, look on the right side. It says average DPS. That's new.
We think that players will probably dash through the enemies and lay the flame zone in the game. This is a build where you can utilize your skills and weapons in a balanced way, so we're very excited about this mod. Ultimate Blair Blueprint can be farmed in the infiltration operations and outposts by opening the amorphous material, just like other Ultimate Descendants. And we're also adding the Ultimate Blair exclusive skin. It's called the Devil Hot Pepper X. Okay. The mechanic design is very impressive. Personally, I think it looks great. It's stunning. I really love the fiery red color on the suit as well. Okay, let's talk about the newly updated external components and modules. We've added 4 external components with the Season 2 Episode 2 update, and we're also adding a few this time as well. We're adding 5 different component sets. Each have a distinctive effect, so we believe that this will widen the build combination. First, we have the Firebrand set. This will increase the skill range, also decrease the fire resistance of the burning enemy. So this will give a powerful synergy to Fire Descendants.
You know what? Okay, put this on Lepic, put this on Serena. Screw Blair. Minus 30% fire resistance. That's like 30% more damage. Dude! Lepic boss killer again.
The second set is called Plague. This will enhance the skill power of tech skills and singular skills. It does decrease the weapon critical damage. However, it does significantly increase the toxic attributed skills. So this will enhance the toxic-oriented build significantly.
Well, this one is obviously made for Keelan. He doesn't have tech, but he has singular, and also he's acquiring custom resources. Oh man, that's 58.4 increased skill power modifier? Wow.
Third set is called Enlightened Mage. When you're using the non-attributed skills, this will greatly increase the skill power. You do have some conditions to meet. However, if you use it well, this will increase the performance significantly.
Goddamn Good Night Slayer modules. Look at this 84% non-attribute skill power on top. If you thought you couldn't do much more damage, here it is.
Fourth is Moving Fortress. This will decrease the weapon critical damage, however, it does decrease the defense and the received damage coefficient. So this would be a good defense set for tankers.
Okay, I need help. So we all have 10,000 defense and we get 25% more. That's 12,500 defense then. Of course, the tank has much more. 0.012% reduces the incoming damage. So in the end, you get 1.5% less damage or 150 flat less damage? What?
Last set is called Shell Crusher. This deals extra damage to Void and Arc Shield. This would be a great alternative to Voltia if you don't have the weapon. Let's move on to the newly added mods. Now we have the Descendant mod called Elemental Resistance Battlefield. This will increase the received damage coefficient when you're damaged by the attributed attack. Then this will additionally increase the attributed damage resistance. Depending on what circumstances you're in, this will greatly increase the survivability.
Yeah, that sounds pretty useless when you have low death numbers. I mean, it's like when you have 10,000 deaths and you get 0.5% increased damage taken, more damage taken, whatever. But also 40 resistance. 3 stacks is 120 resistance. I mean, if you have like 50,000 defense and you are at 600 resistance, which is still not much, that sounds pretty useless to me.
We also have a weapon mod called the Veil Analyzer. When you're attacking weak points, this will increase the attributed attacks damage. This also does extra damage to Void Shield and Arc Shield. It's also another option to use instead of Voltia. We've also improved the tooltip as well. The tooltip information will accurately display if a skill or the modified is a result of sum or multiplication. We believe that with this information, the effect calculation will probably feel more intuitive to the players. The Korean text has already been changed, and the rest of the languages will be changed on April 17th. Next, we have a challenge mode being added to Void Erosion Purge. In the Erosion Purge until now, for the 30 levels, it was a content for both challenges and farming. However, we've defined the first 30 levels as farming location. The challenge mode will solely really focus on challenges. You have to clear the first 30 levels of the normal Void Erosion Purge in order to enter the next level. Now, this is on harder levels compared to the last 30 levels. So you'll be able to test your sets and control and also compete in the leaderboard. Now, players will receive an one-off reward every time they clear per Descendant. You will not be rewarded for subsequent mission completion, however. Now, we chose this one-off reward system because we'd like to run it as a record competition ground for the cream of the crop players. When a content becomes a farming content, and when it's at the same time very difficult, players get very tired while playing this dungeon. Because this is a content designed for any players who love to race for the good records, we've decided to place it as that kind of content, and which would be also an experimental attempt for us. However, we do have an honorary reward prepared for top 100 players per Descendant who has topped the leaderboard. Based on the rank that you have achieved with the challenge mode of the Erosion Purge every season, you'll be given a medal that you can wear for the next season. The medal is a type of accessory that you can place in front of the name of the Descendants. The medal that you get by topping the leaderboard of the Erosion Purge challenge mode will be an awesome reward that you can boast your specs as well as your skills as a player. Okay, and now we just naturally move on to our new system, which is a medal system. That's right, it's a very seamless build-up. Now, the medal system is designed for players who have constantly enjoyed the first Descendant, and it's a system where they can show off their achievement to other players. You can earn medals by with the specific achievements. If you earn same medal several times, your tier will increase and the appearance of the medal will lavish up. You can also pick one medal and place that in your name tag or the name card. The result of enjoying the content in depth for a long time is visually displayed with the medal. So this would be a meaningful way to rub it in for any players who've been enjoying the game for a long time. So it's a verification mark for anyone who have played the game for a long time. It marks a verified OG, we think. So, and we'd love to see more ways to really boast the achievement that you've earned in the game. All right, we move on to a growth-related system. Now it's a Reactor and external component option enhancement system. So we have 4 options for weapons. For reactors and external components, we only have 2. So instead of readjusting just like weapons, we decided to apply a different approach. That's right. Reactors and external components have less option slots than the weapons. So instead of applying the same readjustment system, we decided to apply a system where we can increase the max stat of the low stat options. Specifically, you can consume materials to increase the option stats gradually. The system will allow you to reach the max stat definitely. The materials can be obtained by dismantling reactors and external components. Now, this is a system that complements the farming structure, so ultimately you don't have to rely on luck. You can also rely on grinding to complete the sets that you want.
So in the beginning they said this won't be in the update and now they are presenting it, so will this be released anyway? Is this the part that will make it into the update or is this the part that won't be in the update? Anyway, component farming will be a thing again. Reactor farming won't be that important anymore. You farm a reactor until you get the right stats. You can randomly farm it and then you just upgrade it for an insane amount of resources. But component farming, yeah, this will be a thing where you look into the difficulty level rewards in the rotations and farm the specific areas for components maybe to get those materials, even though 10,000 is that much? I don't know.
We designed the system so that a consistent play leads to a clear reward, so we hope that you make most out of it. All right, we'll have a look at some of the QoL items planned for the April 17th update. First, we're removing the void fragment consumption when opening amorphous material at void fusion reactor.
They are removing the consumption of void shards, but you can still farm it though? Anyway, I suggested you go into your journal and look in the challenges of void fragments and do them before the update comes.
And we're also adding unique artifactor experience as a reward for hard special operations. The efficiency for invested time will be increased to the level that is similar to 400% infiltration operation. The Sigma sector reward is also getting better. The weapon and the Descendant EXP reward will be at the similar level of the 400% infiltration. We're also adding a new reward, which is the energy control core that is required to enhance the option of reactors and external components. So this means is that in Sigma sector, you can work on your arc tuning, Descendant leveling up, as well as the weapon proficiency. Next, when you're crafting the same weapons, the unique ability will be fixed to the top level. Additionally, we've also changed the core unlocking structure. With the same weapons, the initial core unlocking will apply across the same weapons. For example, if you have a Smitherin that you have unlocked the cores and the unique ability is level 4, and if you craft another Smitherin, then that Smitherin will have the cores unlocked and also have the unique ability in level 4. So if you have crafted the same weapon before the update, then we will return whatever the change in the core binder. So please remember that. Besides that, as for Serena, if she's wearing a skin that her wings are not visible, for example, like common skin, her wings won't be visible during the gameplay. The wings will only be displayed during the skill activation. Lastly, with Foto Mode, we're adding filters. So when you're taking screenshots, you're able to create different scenes and different ambiance. All right, we'll talk about the improvements for new players briefly. To prepare for Season 3, we're trying to lower the hurdle for the new players. We're also developing a few different improvements so that they can adapt to the flow of the game naturally. Besides the improvement we talked about today, we do have additional improvements to come. And with this, all this the changes, we're trying to support the new players to get adjusted to the game easier in Season 3. We're adding a guide quest, first of all. This quest will basically guide the new players through necessary growth and also progressions in steps in the story section of the game. We designed the quest for new players to organically learn the system and get used to the game. We've also simplified the main quest structure. We've increased the volume of the task by 40%. We've also significantly lowered the number of the mandatory missions they had to play in the battlefields. The players can pick the missions they want to clear the quest, so they'll be able to enjoy the game more flexibly. We are redesigning, the main missions for Kingston and Sterling to be more battle-oriented, so the gameplay is more simplified and the tempo of the battles will be more organic. And also in every field, missions like occupations or kyber destructions, we have lessened the requirement counts or the time that you need to complete them. So basically this change will eliminate unnecessary waste of energy and time so that you can focus on battles better. An ultimate bunny can be farmed in normal missions now, so the new players can acquire ultimate bunny more naturally and enter the hard mode. We hope that there are more supports for new players to get adjusted to the game. Okay, it's the new skin that many people have been waiting. Let's talk about the skin that is being updated on April 17th. It's a menacing skin that grabbed everyone's attention in the last Dev Live. It's Dandy Corn. On April 17th, we are adding a common skin, Dandy Core. It's a very lighthearted, comical skin. The last Dev Live chat was covered with corns. And we hope to see the Albion also covered in corns on April 17th. It's a lighthearted gag skin. We hope that you enjoy the humor behind the design. We have another skin update in late April. On April 30th, we are providing the Albion Academy summer uniform for female Descendants. As you can see in the screen, it goes perfectly well with the fresh spring. And we have different designs for each Descendant. Yeah, give us some feedback about the uniforms, guys.
네.
All right, so the last update for the April, please. Okay, so this is the last news for April update. We have an in-game event coming that will start from April 17th. So this event will run for 5 weeks from April 17th. The rewards will change every week, but the event is comprised of daily missions as well as weekly missions. With the daily missions, you have the mission completion task as well as the 60-minute play condition where you can complete them and receive various rewards. Weekly missions will change weekly, and we have different rewards for you, including Crystallization Catalyst. And in the same period, we're also holding an on-time event that will provide rewards for every player. From April 17th for a week, to every player who logged into the game, we are giving a surprise egg emote. So please don't miss the chance. And then the Beyond Sigma Sector event, which was a commemorative event for Season 2, Episode 2, is still ongoing. That's right. So the login event where you can obtain the Ultimate Bunny or Haley skin is still ongoing. So if you haven't participated in the event in Season 2, Episode 2, then please use this chance to obtain these skins. All right, so let's briefly also talk about the May update we're developing. We'll also have various features and contents being updated in May. Director will go through the main points briefly. As you can see on the screen, we have a dynamic motion being updated in May, which a lot of people have been waiting for. The socket item will be added to Arche tuning, which will add more fun to build setting. Ice Maiden will appear as the Abyss Colossus. The Party Finder system and other Descendant view system is also being developed, which will become our fundamental system for party plays. We are also adding a system that can convert unnecessary core items. We're also adding a stat that can set multi-hit to cores and core and weapon options. To Inversion Reinforcement, we're adding preset saving feature. We're also adding a feature to change the preset order. In Foto Mode, we're adding stickers and frames. We're expecting a few different changes in May as well, so please stay tuned for April update. When we said dynamic motion, some of you might have gone, is that what I think it is? And it is what you think it is. We just made it our official name, the dynamic motion. All right, so we were going to update it in May, but we will give you a sneak peek today. Could you take out the build again, Director? We haven't developed for all the Descendants as well as the skins, so we're only going to demo it with Ultimate Bunny today.
네, 먼저 콩가 한번 재생해 볼까요? 네.
Alright, let's play Konga.
네, 이거 멀어서 잘 안 보이시죠? 네.
I think it's too far for you to see.
이렇게 해볼까요? 파링?
Sparring?
어느 가까이?
You might have to go a little closer.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
이거 꺼버립시다.
We'll turn that off.
이게 지금 강도가 몇이에요?
강도가 지금
네.
지금은 강도 세팅이 그냥 온오프만 되어 있고요.
It's actually on and off for
실제
now.
최종 빌드에는 강도 세팅이 들어갈 예정입니다.
But in the final build, we'll have the strength option, intensity option.
네.
네, 참고로 하체도 작업하고 있는 중입니다.
For your information, we're also working on the lower body.
네, 그러면 이왕이면 에피소드 2 주인공인 세레나도 한번 보여주시죠.
네.
You know, on that note, we could have a look at Serena, which is the heroine of episode 2.
I will not be afraid.
먼저 똑같이 스파링 모션부터 볼까요?
We'll look at the sparring motions just like before.
코믹 댄스.
Okay, comic dance.
이건 좀 그러네요.
This is a little too much.
네, 그럼 여기까지.
All right, that's it. Wrap up.
누가 자꾸 숭하다고 하셔서.
So people are kind of saying it's disgusting, so we'll wrap it up here.
여기까지만 해도 될 것 같아요. 네. 네. 직접 보셔야. 네.
네.
Yeah. You'll have to see it
아니죠.
for yourself.
네.
Did you notice that this demo took way longer than anything else that they have shown? That's like 5 minutes of wiggle wiggle. Just saying.
Our minds went a little blank after watching that.
네. 그러면
Alright, so we'll go to our last news for the first part of the Dev Live. So this year, our plan is to be more proactive in communicating with you and meeting you up close and personal. And our first plan is to participate in PAX East, which is a game show held in Boston, US in May this year. At PAX East main theater on May 11th, Sunday at noon EST time, director and I will do the live dev live there. We have never seen, we're giving you a never been announced news at PAX East about the Fantasy Field Season 3 new content, especially the things that we have announced in GDC. So please stay tuned. But the Dev Live will also be live streamed on our YouTube channel just like this. So if you can't make it to PAX East, then that's okay. You'll still be able to hear from us. We're also planning a cosplay event during PAX East. The first Descendant mascots, Bunny, and the new Descendant Serena will be on the loose at PAX East. If you have spotted our cosplayers, you can take photos with them. You can also receive surprise gifts. So if you're planning to come to PAX East, then keep your eyes out for them. Never been to PAX East before, so it's very exciting for me. Any detailed news about the PAX East will be shared through our official channel. All right, so we'll end our first part of the Dev Live. We'll have a 10-minute break and start our Q&A session. We do have some schedule after the Dev Live, so we won't be able to have a long Q&A session, so please do understand.
네, 그러면 잠시 쉬었다가 2부 Q&A 시간에 찾아뵙겠습니다.
Okay, we'll
감사합니다.
see you in Q&A after a 10-minute break.
네, 2부 QA 진행하도록 하겠습니다.
Alright, we're back with part 2 Q&A. Before we get into our serious stuff, we have a little mugs on the table, right? And some of you might have wondered what the mugs are. So these are gifts from our Korean players. We're not really sure we deserve it, but we are eternally grateful for your support. Thank you so much for the mug.
Thank you so much. 네, 감사합니다.
And also there's another thing we'd like to talk about before we look at some of your comments on the chat. Now we have a development as a whole, and then we have 2 tracks within that, right? We have a 1 track that really focuses on contents and improvement of the contents. We have another track that increases the volume of the game that would include different appearances such as skins and accessories and stuff like that. We believe that these 2 tracks of developments are not exactly correlated very closely. And these 2 tracks are mostly independently operated and developed. And when these 2 tracks, do well on its own, then there's no problem, right? Then there's 1 track that has a problem. Then the players, they tell us, why don't you, focus more on this and that. Now, what we like to say and what we like to point out here is that each track has a long-term goal and the path that we need to take, and they're independently operated. And with different issues in these development processes, and giving you a update like dynamic motions and skins. Sometimes we do feel that maybe it is not the right time to provide this type of updates, but at the same time, we'd like to say that please understand these 2 tracks are independent and they're pursuing different goals, and that is when we have to update different news in the same timing. We had a question about the leaderboard medal and whether the medals are permanent. The medals that you earned from the challenge mode leaderboard are only available for the subsequent season. However, we are planning to give you some medals that will be permanent throughout the game. So we also have a question about the skill effect intensity option. Whenever we release a new Descendants, the skill effects always comes up. We are discussing it internally. I guess the direction we've come up with would be that giving players an option to enable these effects. But it's not going to be just a mere on and off system. It's going to be more of an option that gives the players a delicate control over what type of the quality of the effect they see. So also some of you have asked, how do you find a party? Is this going to be you gather in a square or something? Well, it's going to be available in the menu, and you're also going to have a tag option. Say if your tag is a catalyst farming, then you'll be able to find the players with the same tag so that you're partied with the players who have the same goals in the game. Some of you have asked AMD FSR4 support. We are testing it with AMD. I don't have the exact date though, so we'll have to check. Go back to the office and check. With the dynamic motion, we shared a few times, but there will be an intensity control. If you don't want it, you'll be able to turn it off. So you'll be able to use the feature as you like. With the Reactor enhancement, some of you have asked if the grade, the tier will increase as well. The type will be fixed when enhanced. However, you'll be able to increase from purple to yellow. Some of you have asked about the required number of the materials you need to enhance the external components. We are still developing the system, so it's kind of early for us to share the specific numbers because they're subject to changes. But what the direction of the development would be that we're trying to decrease the time or minimize the time and the material, the number of the materials required to have the top tier external components whenever you're farming for the enhancement. I mean, with the Ines Nerf, we do see a lot of comments about that. Just like we said in the dev live, I guess it was our attempt to, adjust the Descendant because we wanted to stabilize and balance the game content with a long-term perspective. But please do understand that was the approach that we were taking.
Okay.
A lot of players are also asking about the plans for Luna, but we'll have to evaluate this patch, the result of this patch first, and then design the additional and subsequent updates. So, and we do have some plans for Lunas, but I think it's early to share anything now. So we'll do that in the next chance we have. About the NVIDIA DLSS4, some of you have asked, are you going to enable the option in-game? Again, we'll have to check the dates first. My understanding is that the option is being developed so that it's enabled in-game, not outside the game with the NVIDIA app. But we'll have to check the exact date. About Season 3, we'll probably have to wait until May. We'll be able to share more details at PAX East. With the idle animation, it's really hard to talk about the specifics because we are still in discussion, but there are many things to consider. Some of you have asked for more exclusive skins for Descendants. It's something we are considering. Some of you have given us the error code. I guess the relevant errors would be like crash errors or the Albion access errors. You might not feel it first-handedly. However, our data actually show that there has been some improvements with major patches that we've done and applied in the game recently. Yeah. Okay, so some of you are asking for us to share some bold movements for Season 3 or the Season 3 content specifics, but we'll share them at PAX East in May. One of the questions was about what type of things that you get with a one-off reward for the Erosion Purge challenge mode. Per Descendant, if you complete each level, so after completion of each level, you will get a number of weapon cores. So the preset for the Inversion reinforcement will be added very soon. We do have a new community manager already joined us, but we still have to talk about the details of the work scope in order for us to complement the communications with the players. Yeah, but we'll have to talk to him in more details. A lot of questions, and the answer to those questions are in plan, but it's hard for us to share it officially. I think we saw a comment asking director to cosplay Ultimate Bunny at PAX East.
아니죠? 네, 제가
We
잘못한
hope
거죠?
that
네.
wasn't
버니가 아니라 얼티밋 버니요?
Ultimate Bunny. You guys want Ultimate Bunny
하고
cosplay?
지나가서 네,
That was the
눈을
quick
조금
check.
의심했는데요. 네.
We're not sure if you read the comment right. We have a lot of questions about collaborations with different brands. Things need to be fixed in order for us to share them officially. And these collaboration projects usually take a really long time. We have a feeling in our plans. Once things are confirmed and fixed, then we'll share the details. Just a quick revision on the reward, one-off reward you get with the challenge mode of Erosion Purge. Now, with the per level reward, it's given per account. Now, this is a one-off reward per level per account. With the leaderboard reward, you'll receive it per descendant and for top 100 players on the leaderboard. We do have people asking for specifics of the Battle Pass reward updates. For Season 3, what we're trying to do is increase the value of the rewards you receive through Battle Pass, but these will be included with any news that we share with Season 3. We're careful because we have so many discussions on how to increase the satisfaction the players feel about the Battle Pass, but at the same time, we want more players to be on board with Battle Pass. It's just that there are many things that we talk about internally, so that's why we're quite careful on what we share. With the Descendant, next Descendant adjustment patch, we don't have a definite plan, a definite date for that. What we're doing at the moment is analyzing the result of the last adjustment. The issue currently, what we're facing now, is that these OP Descendants are crumbling the difficulty structure of the in-game contents. We're trying to take a very discreet approach to adjusting Descendants because we don't want a situation where we can't do anything about the adjusted Descendants once they become too OP and crumbles the whole game structure. So again, we are taking our time and taking a discreet approach to adjusting Descendants. Once we have a clear plan and a schedule, we'll announce it through different channels like Devlopment. There are many concerns about the hacks, cheats, cheating users. If you look at our announcements, you'll find out that we do have a weekly monitoring of cheats, hacks, malicious users. So we use our monitoring system. We also receive reports from the other players. So we do make constant efforts in finding these unfair activities in the game. But we do understand you have concerns. I will go back to the office and tell the relevant team. So we're not saying, we do monitoring, so it's perfect in the game. That's not what we meant. What we are saying is that we do make a constant effort in monitoring unfair activities. We do that on a weekly basis. We see you still have concerns even though we are making attempts and we're trying hard. So we'll go back to our office and talk to the relevant team. So with the 21:9 ratio for Foto Mode, we'll have to go back to the office and talk to the relevant team about whether it's possible. With the offline events, merchandises, I know that you're quite curious about our plan, but we'll have to just gradually open any specifics that's confirmed to you. It'd be really hard for us to just share them in today's Dev Live. With the Ultimate Blair research blueprint, basically, you can do that through infiltration operations, outposts. Basically, you'll be able to open the amorphous material to get the blueprint. I see some of you are still experiencing some errors with paints and dyes. I guess we've already taken some measures for these bugs that has been reported to us before, but please feel free to report more issues if you're experiencing in the game. Questions about the new game mode are also on the chat. We are testing different modes. We have a few different agendas and items and plans for them. Once things are confirmed, then we'll share them. So some of you are asking, what's the upcoming Ultimate Descendant? Well, the upcoming one would be Ultimate Blair, right? The next one after the Ultimate Blair, we are developing it, but it's too soon to talk about who it is. We'll have to wait until the right timing. Paxy's devlive will be provided offline, but at the same time live streamed online just like this. So tune in because I think many questions will be answered on that day. Some questions are about arc tuning sockets. We are testing the features, also adjusting them. Basically, the idea is to add more nodes in the board. And in the node, we'll add a socket where you can install an item, right? This item is farmable. And once you gain that item and put it in the socket, and you'll be able to achieve some effects. With the direction for the Descendant Balancing patch, until now, what we have done is, nerfing Ines, but at the same time buffing other Descendants, right? And our goal, I guess, is to make the less used Descendants more used in the game, but at the same time have them meet the efficiency bar that we have set as a standard in the game. With this patch, we did confirm that originally less used Descendants were used after applying this patch. And the thing is, it's really difficult to have all the Descendants used in the same amount, right? Because these Descendants are popular for different reasons, for example, different appearances and things like that. Our goal is to have the less used Descendants used more in the game. And if they aren't used as much as the standards that we have set for the game, then we'll continue improving them so that they're deployed more in the game.
네. 아까 이제 1부 끝에 말씀드린 것처럼 저희들이 이후에 또 일정이 있어서 Q&A 시간은 여기까지만 진행을 하도록 하겠습니다. 이번 캐릭터 밸런스 패치에 관해서는 다시 한번 사과의 말씀을 드리고요. 앞으로는 좀 더 신중하게 해서 진행을 하도록 하겠습니다. 그러면 이만 저희들은 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Okay, so this is the end of Q&A session, just like we talked about in the first part of the devlive. We apologize for the result of the balance patch, and we'd like to also point out that we'll take a more discreet approach to the balance patch in the future. Okay, see you guys later.